Our first video presented a personal injury suit arising out of an auto accident that pitted Freddie and Billy Krueger against John Cronin and Southbound Freight. We showed you how to transfer the contents of a client questionnaire into HotDocs. The questionnaire contained names and addresses for the plaintiffs, their medical providers, and the witnesses they knew. Thus, we showed you how to generate client contracts and medical releases without much in the way of typing. Now let's draft a complaint. We'll start with a generic interview designed for federal court. We select the Northern District of Georgia as the location for the suit. That gives us a heading. We pick diversity of citizenship as the basis for jurisdiction. More specifically, the plaintiffs are all citizens of the state of Georgia, and none of the defendants is. For venue, we allege that it's based solely on diversity, and the claim arose in the state of Georgia. That gives us the jurisdictional allegations, as well as the venue allegations. The start of the second interview, the names dialogue has been filtered down to the parties, and we're going to render some allegations regarding their physical location. We're going to start with the individuals, and we're going to change the view so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. This is the plaintiff, Freddie Krueger. We can make separate allegations regarding his citizenship and residency because they could be separate locations. Here we're going to do both because they're both at the same time, which is normally the case. And we render allegations concerning the state where he's a citizen, his address, as well as the county where he lives. Now we do the same regarding Billy Krueger, as well as John Cronin. Now we go to Southbound Freight, and our options are more sophisticated because this is an organization. We're going to allege the state of incorporation, being in Michigan, as well as the principal place of business, being in the same state. Now we want to draw some connection between Southbound Freight and the state of Georgia because that's where the suit is being brought. So we change the location to Cartersville, Georgia. We state that Southbound Freight is engaged in the business of interstate trucking. And we allege that the events that gave rise to this complaint occurred while it was engaged in that business, in that location. The next dialogue enables us to use drop-down lists to describe the vehicles involved in the accident. We're going to start with the tractor-trailer that was driven by John Cronin. He was driving it in the left lane, going south on I-75 at the time of the accident. The vehicle is owned by Southbound Freight. We press the button to set the allegations. Then we hit add vehicle at the bottom to add the vehicle driven by the Cronins. We've made the appropriate selections from the drop-down list, so we press the button at the bottom to create the allegation. In this workspace, we will present the substance of count 1 on behalf of Freddie Krueger against both defendants. We're given the option of alleging negligence or causation, and we pick negligence. We start with allegations of negligence by the driver, John Cronin. We are asked if we want to allege negligence with specificity. We press no to simply allege that John Cronin was negligent. If we want to allege negligence with specificity, we're presented with a series of options. We select the appropriate options and then press the button at the lower left to set the allegation. Next, we allege respondeat superior liability, with Cronin as the servant and Southbound Freight as the master. Since we have a mechanical defect, we will also allege that the owner itself was negligent. Let's take a closer look at this workspace. This box contains the text that will be inserted into the document. This area previews the next piece of text to enter. You can see that the wording changes as we make our selections. Then it's added in when we press the button. Now we switch from negligence to causation. We allege that John Cronin crashed into the Kruger's car as a result of his negligence, and then we proceed to allege damages. Once again, we have the option of presenting a general allegation of damages, or we can select from a series of options to craft our allegations. We make the appropriate selections and insert the allegation. Next, we fashion a prayer for relief by selecting the appropriate options. That finishes the count for Freddy Krueger, and we go through a similar process for Billy. Then we pick which attorney will sign the complaint. That finishes the complaint. This is what it looks like. At this point, we only need to check off a few boxes to prepare the civil cover sheet. We've even programmed HotDocs to calculate the county for the first named plaintiff and defendant. Isn't that the easy way to draft a complaint? We can show you lots more if you contact us at peachtech.net.